The night is about the honorees, so I definitely want to keep it in that same vein. As an organization, if you don't know what we do, we basically try to match preparation with opportunity and assistive impact. So what that basically is, we have a newsletter that goes to the population in Wisconsin. And then we have right now a prison wiki that's being developed. We're going to talk to the DOC about making it available so that it can be like a Wikipedia type platform for individuals in prison so they can get information about any category at all. It's something we have not heard of. We're working with an organization on the East Coast to build it out, so it's a tech solution for education. So that's all us trying to prepare people before they enter society to be as ready as possible instead of trying to prepare them when they get out. On the outside, we have things like this, the Correcting the Narrative campaign, where we just have outreach, trying to get the message beyond the choir of this issue of organizations and places that are usually more system impacted. In Milwaukee, you can throw a rock and hit somebody who has been in or knows somebody who's been in prison, so we try to reach out to the Franks, River Hills, and Waukesha, things like that. So this is in that same vein. The reason we chose correcting instead of changing the narrative is because it's not just semantics. Correcting is stronger. Correcting is like math. Changing has a subjective note to it, where you can change your clothes, you can change your meal, but correcting is 1 + 1 is 2. This is 1 + 1 is 2. People that are system impacted have not been seen correctly. There has been an emphasis on the pity, the spectacle, and the fear. So we're trying to focus on the successes, humanity, and agency of people that are system impacted. Everybody that was up on the stage tonight, there's an honoree, the host, the musical acts, the comedians, the spoken word, all system impacted. The caterers, system impacted. These stoves were made by a system impacted printer. They have, I represent millions, because everybody that's up on the stage represents millions. Nobody's up here representing themselves. They're just one example of the many people that are system impacted, that are successful. The appendix that are in the award book, there's not the greatest picture in there, but I'm pretty proud of the way they came out. It's a unique fingerprint for each honoree. It's a quote from the honoree interview that we did, where we would play when they come up, and there's their signature. So I'm incredibly grateful for all the help that we've had tonight. It's not what I wanted, but it's come out, I think, still pretty well, even despite the delay and first time doing something like this. So I thank you so much to everyone that helped, our advisors, and sponsors, that are all local. Okay, that's the spoken. So, grateful so much to be sharing the stage with Tamara. Tamara is the epitome of grace and strength in this work. She's been doing it for so long. Couldn't have chosen a better host, I think. There's symbolism throughout the entire night. The vases are different sizes to represent different types of success. The lotuses represent how beauty comes from environment. So that's consistent impact that people are kind of like that. We have these things around these poster boards you might see. My MSP family might like this. It's kind of a mental map where you can write down what's correcting the narrative mean to you, how do we correct the narrative. It's anything that comes to your mind and your thoughts on these poster boards you see around. If it's not pens, you will put some there. So that's what those are about. So like I said, symbolism is in the, it's in the awards that we're giving everybody. So with that, I want to pass to our first person to come on stage, Camille Mayes, wonderful Camille Mayes. As somebody who was the cause of something that Camille has experienced, it is incredibly powerful for me to pass this on to her and have her represent what is the beginning of all of what we do. And I think in reentry reform, a lot of times we forget there was a crime committed, there was significant pain that was caused, and we need to have them at the forefront all the time if we're really going to address these issues and have everybody understand why the system is not working. We cannot forget those as the victims and our crime survivors. They come first, and then we can come together and find a better way to move forward. So I think it was fitting to have somebody who has so much experience in that area of healing and strength open the night with the singing drum ceremony. And Camille, I really pass it on here.
Everybody, my name is Camille Mayes, and I'm very, very nervous to speak in front of all of y'all. Today, it was really, really, really hard for me to come here, and I want to express to all of y'all that I made it here. Today is the 2-year anniversary to the date of my son, Neal Woodard II, my boo was murdered. So it was a lot. It was a lot for me to get dressed today, but I'm here, and y'all see my shirt says Black Red Higher. For me, it was really important for me to come for me and for Buka and for the families. And then, like, one thing that never gets focused on that I wanted to express, a lot of people don't know that I'm a felon myself. And that I need environment too. I need to work on doing that. And I put in a lot of work in the community. I put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, literally. My son was taken from the streets. The streets still have my anxiety level up to here, as it does a lot of people. So I shifted a lot of my work with families of homicide, which I did up until my son was murdered for 5 years actually. I shifted the work to the healing part, because with the work that I did, I learned that it's a good thing for us to be out here in the streets reaching out to the families, but 2 weeks after, it's like we kind of left in the dark. People leave, all of the support, it kind of goes away. And so I just wanted to help with a part of the healing since I've actually been through it. And I think that the work that I did was good, but now that I step on the other side of it, I feel like in a sense it was a disservice not to have a whole part of the healing process. So one of the things that helps me cope, I try and I call it the Robin Hood concept. I kind of charge universities or corporations and people who can't afford it so that I can provide it for free to people in the community who may not have access to singing bowls and other healing and coping tools. And with the support of the people that I have around me, I was able to purchase some singing bowls so that I can provide singing bowl sessions, as I said, free to the community. But not only to the community members, but for people like myself, people like y'all, people who work endlessly in the community, with people out here in the community who never get a break, people who never had a release, who never had time to just take a moment for themselves. So I'm here for all of us, and I'm here in honor of the ones who are no longer here. Thank you for having me, and I'm gonna play just for a moment. I actually had a procedure on my wrist last Friday, but I'm honored still to be here and to be able to play for y'all today. Thank you.
Amazing how we come together as groups by the co-practice of the narrative, right? We're all woven. There isn't a string in this room that doesn't get intertwined with somebody else's string. So, it's powerful, powerful stuff. I want to welcome you tonight, just like Shannon did. I feel honored. I don't know if you see what this says, but it says, I represent millions. And you'll see the individual we're talking about, millions of people in prison. Wisconsin being 1 in 36 Black folks in prison. We've got some work to do in correcting the narrative. Would you say so? Let's give it up for that idea that we can come together for change. One thing that I wanted to mention, Shannon's like, I think I got everything I was going to do. That kid's been running since he's been running since he got out of the penitentiary. Can I get him? If anybody knows Shannon, I don't think he sat down yet. I think it's been almost a year. Give it up for Shannon. These young folks, it's been 18 and a half years for me. I try to tell these youngins, honey, pace yourself. Otherwise you're gonna look old like me. But anyway, there's some amazing people. And you know what? I'm just gonna throw this out here. There's a young man that just got home yesterday. Would you stand up, sir, and let us welcome you home? Mr. Porter, please. 7 years in the penitentiary. And where did he go the day he got out? Somewhere to correct the narrative. Welcome home, Mr. Porter. We know that the #1 predictor of people returning to prison is who they spend their time with. So here he is in a room full of people who want to see some change. That's how it works. Can I get an amen for that too? Or hallelujah, or yeah, woo-hoo. All right. So just to get started, we just want to thank you so much for your interest. And those of you that have come home, we're going to have a moment in a little bit. I'm going to have everybody stand up. When I started this work 18 and a half years ago, I was released June 24, 2003. Prior to prison, my brother killed himself. Both my grandmas died, and I wanted to die myself. And I felt like there was no hope. This stuff wasn't happening. Jerome Dillard's not here anymore from, we started thinking about Voices Beyond Bars. But what I want to say is thank you for reaching into your own spirit to see that people are so much more than what we've seen on TV, or the article we read, or that one moment in time that we make a decision about who they must be. But that's not you, or you wouldn't be here tonight. So as Shannon said, I'm going to point this out to you, and then I'm going to ask that we're going to get ready to serve dinner pretty soon, and I'm going to ask that Orlando and his group get on up here for that little jam session you're going to have, boy. I remember sitting in the pen and thinking, God, I wish I could have some live music. Right when they're like, stand up for Kyle. I'm like, someone turn the radio up. Anyway, so when we're talking about correcting the narrative, and Shannon said, he's like, I know there's some poster board somewhere. And the poor guy, again, was running like crazy when he got here. So right there by where you can go up to the bar, there's one hanging on that area there. There's a little pen. I know it's not convenient. But my guess is you didn't come here tonight because you had nothing better to do. Right? It's not like you couldn't be doing something else right now. But you chose this. And there's so much more to people. And we need, I'm going to tell you for sure that in my time working in prison, after leaving prison, apparently God had a hand and gave me some keys to go back in and out on the same day, which I was like, oh man, I don't want to go back there, honey. But what I had the privilege to do is be with people. I've met the most talented, amazing, beautiful human beings behind those walls. So, when we talk about correcting narrative, there's one there, there's one all the way in the back by that. I don't know if that's a C or an arrow or somebody was on acid, I don't know what happened. Something. And over in the far corner, so there's a pen, so as something moves your spirit, breathe it into the truth on that piece of paper about correcting this narrative. Does that sound like a plan? Yes. All right. So Mr. Peña, are y'all ready? You gonna rock us out? I'm a little nervous, but you know, you can shake your tail feathers. Just be careful where you're shaking, as old as I am. All right, come on up here, young man. Do your thing. Shake your thing. Do what you do.
Hello, everybody. My name is Orlando Peña. These are my good buddies, Jake Stanzer and Jake Williams to my left and right. We play in a band called Midnight Purchase. Lately we've been writing a lot of songs, kind of about my experience going through the system and all that. Something I was pretty embarrassed about talking about for a long time. It happened for me when I was 16. Didn't really know any better, got tried as an adult. But luckily I was able to walk partly due to my mother begging and pleading. You didn't really realize how important that is until now. But yeah, something I was real ashamed of for a really long time, and it's taken near 10 years now to start acknowledging it, confronting it, and I guess being happy with where I am. And so this is the first song I've ever decided to sing about it. This one's called Cage Bird. We smoked out in the backseat, watching all these young birds spread their wings. Graduation came, watching them all fly away. That's when they slapped the cuffs on me. Tried to take everything. They tried to clip my wings, but a cage bird won't sing as sweet. Well, as his brothers in the trees. No cage bird won't sing as sweet. I'm 21. I'm no wiser, a little more bruised up. Disillusioned. Independence Day, I spent it locked away, watching the lights dance through the window of my cage. When you try to take everything, they tried to clip my wings, but a cage bird won't sing as sweet. Well, God make it this far in life? You got this old bird staring farther down the skyline. I still believe, yes, I spread my wings. I wake up every day and I try to sit, because I'm free.
It's okay. Yeah, I can't be happier from when I first met Orlando, he was talking about how he really had to come out about his past and how this was like an opportunity for him to do that, because he was kind of talking about it. And that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to do a variety of things, but one of them is bring these success stories that don't want to own their story because they're fearful of what society thinks out to the forefront, because we need those out here. Because the more we hide the system impacted success stories, society doesn't realize there are so many system impacted success stories. So I'm so happy that he was able to have a comfort and a platform to do that. And I want to try and get him out here and get the song, because I love the music. A couple things I did not mention earlier, I really want to step in and say. I didn't mean to take Tamara's hosting. The artwork on the side here, if anybody wants to look at it or purchase any, some of them are for sale, some of them are just to look at. Some of them are by currently incarcerated people, some of them are by formerly incarcerated people. I think the son of one of the people that's incarcerated is here tonight. Jimmy De Jesus did a number of pieces, his are here. The squiggly colorful ones I love. I think he is incarcerated as well. So that's just one thing I want to mention that's available. It says on there the price and who to talk to if something's available, if you're interested in it. Also, I want to take a second to apologize for the parking. I did not know it was going to be that much. They got you. I want to refund everybody for that, because I hate that. I did not know that was going to happen, and I really apologize. And then lastly, I did not remember to have our board members stand up. So we currently have, I think, 4 that made it. One, her son was sick, and the other ones had different things they could do. So the 4 board members that are here for the organization can stand up: Steve, Tracy, Shante, and Ryan. This is our executive group. So, thank you very much. Aldira was not able to make it, she's our treasurer, but yeah, very grateful for our board. Thank you so much. That is it. I'm gonna pass it on here to Adam Procell.
Thank you, Shannon. Now, Shannon, where's the podium? I want a speech without putting it on a podium, so I can't work under this condition, Shannon. Behind me. It's too far away, but very good observation. I definitely want to take a second, even though Shannon's going to hate me, but he's too pretty to fight, clearly, so I feel pretty safe saying this, that I really want you to understand that as soon as this man got out of prison, it's a true story, he's too pretty to fight. Well, anyways. In September of 2020, this man got out, the very first thing out of his mouth was, how can we honor those who don't get the credit that they deserve? He didn't care about catching up. He didn't care about making up for lost time. The very first thing out of his mouth was, I want to put on an award show to show those that don't ever get recognition that we see. So can we just give a round of applause for Pierce Officer? So my name is Adam Procell. I'm the Community Outreach for Partners in Hope. And one of those success stories is one of our graduates, Gene Echols. And if we at Partners in Hope could go into the lab and create what success looks like, Gene epitomizes the end result. In August of 2019, he came into our program, and he did not look back. All he needed was a chance, just one chance. And I can still remember, before he even graduated, he would drive back from his full-time job, drive with me all the way out to the House of Corrections to pick up groups for the next class so they could get the same chance that he got, that chance to look recidivism right in the face and say, not today and not ever. That's the epitome of what success looks like. And he was so aggressive in his desire to change that we hired him on the spot. The day he graduated, we hired him into our organization. He did not look back. Unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at the situation, it wasn't too long before he came to us and he had to say goodbye. But it was a goodbye because he was offered an even better job. And so even though we were losing a great employee, a great human being, we realized that he can make his own destiny. He can forge his own path. And that's what success looks like. I also want to thank John Ponder from Las Vegas. He's the brainchild of Partners in Hope. Without him, we couldn't give Gene this opportunity. And I feel like I speak for him when I say, you can have all the opportunity in the world, but if you don't have the drive, the know-how, the willpower, the audacity to do something with that change, opportunities is a very long word. So you have to do something with it. So can you guys please show the video of Gene, please?
The way in which I overcame difficult situations was, one, just learning like what is the shortcoming. Then from there, surrounding myself around individuals that's like-minded, that's reaching towards the solution to overcome something. I believe in the link, like believe in that bond with, organizations like Partners in Hope. I can call up my brother on the phone. I can write somebody that's back in the joint, or maybe they can call me and we just keep going from there. Man, just getting out and just, right away being set up to do the right thing. The birth of my son, that's really number one, but that came after, me being out. Just my family, having my family, having that support system and finding employment. The things that I would tell my younger self would be, don't be afraid to be different. If you see somebody that's pushing the envelope in a different direction, that's different from your neighborhood, different from your peers, different from like what's been told to you, and just seeing like what that person is doing and try to open your mouth and say, hey, let me be a part of that. Because a lot of times, like, I didn't do that, growing up. I've been a chameleon to my environment. You hear people that been in and been out, then you hear people that's coming in for the first time, but you get like that cloud feeling like ain't nothing gonna happen for you. So when you come out and you see something different and you see people like, hey, it is organizations, that it is people that's out here like, that's in a fight with you. So to me, correcting the narrative is just showing, like the guys, like when they call you like, hey, look, bro, like I'm about to get ready to get a house, or, I'm about to get the job, or, I'm about to get married. And so like they see that and they say, man, dude can do it, or so can I. So it's just like providing hope. For me to correct the narrative day to day, I get up, I pray. Lately I've been praying a lot, asking for direction, because direction is what, keep you conscious, but also just keep that narrative in which you want to paint, bring that into focus by praying and by just staying dedicated in a sense. Just like realizing, man, like how much opportunity it is now, because before, like if you don't got no aim or no direction, you just everywhere. But now just me having my son definitely motivated me, like, man, it's time, So him, other guys, that's calling me and that's counting on me, so. What Partners in Hope did for me, because I got a good story with them, is that, I was on the fence at first. I came out, I said, hey, I'm done doing programs, like this just gonna be another program, but it wasn't, it wasn't DOC related. It wasn't none of that. It was just more so like, hey, look, we about to put y'all in the best position to win, because we know people that's already winning and we wanna win with y'all. I called, I met with the counselor, Dwight Johnson at the time, great man. And I actually seen like the CEO. I thought he was just some old white guy. and cause he was doing like tile work, right? I was shocked to see the CEO like on the ground just like with floor tiles. So I'm like, man, like who is this, you know, and what they got going on here. So from there, like I just seen the compassion and the love. Was like, man, look, we got you. I'm like, man, come on. You know, they took me to get my, took me on my first interview. Supported me, they even employed me. And man, like they did a lot for me, man. Like they really did a lot, and forever will be grateful to the organization.
Hello everybody, how y'all doing here tonight? I just want to say thank you to Partners in Hope. I came home 2019. Partners in Hope, they gave me excellent start. You know, I know for a lot of us that did time, when you come home, you don't want to be a part of no other program, but Partners in Hope, it's like no other Department of Correction, no other type of program. So they really gave me a chance, and I'm grateful for everybody that's here, but mostly like Partners in Hope and all of their mentors, their people, like their staff, because reentry is an everyday thing, you know, with the people you associate with, like your parole officer, like your family, everything. And my family is here with me tonight. My fiance right here in the front, and my son, my two other children right here. And I was just painting the house that I just bought, you know, so praise God for that. And it's nothing but God, you know, that's what I had said. What should I say when I come up here? I said, but God. But God. So I want to thank him and thank all y'all for being here, and just like whatever y'all doing, whatever reason y'all here, man, just like continue to just show up, continue to be who you are, because you're important right here. All of us are here tonight, so I just thank God for y'all. Just pray for y'all as well. Thank you.
All right, without further ado, let's get out Philip Coleman for that next award. Come on in.
Amen, amen. Hey, is God still able to do some things in your life? Is God still able? Okay, I'm a minister, so y'all have to give me a little bit more energy than that. Is God still real? Amen, amen. My name is Orlando Owens, and I'm with the Joseph Project, and you didn't come here to see me. So let's go to my friends Phil and your mama now. If they here, y'all get ready to take some pictures of this young man. Y'all got to forgive me, we don't have a cameraman, so mama get ready to go take pictures of your son. Amen? Amen. Let's go to the picture. Let's go to it.
I take every day step by step, and I don't take nothing for granted. So versus just being in the moment, I really embrace the opportunity to live in this new freedom. A majority of the time, I used to only adhere to just primitive behavior, and just throughout the duration of my life, I learned to analyze situations a lot better, and just being in prison over a decade gave me time to reflect and utilize different tools. I'm proud that I have a great relationship with my kids. I'm actually able to make up for some of the mistakes I made in the past, and that I'm finally living legit. Do a 180, try something different. Go to school and listen to your mama. Don't be afraid to be you. Don't follow the trend. Just love who you are enough, where that's enough for you. Because just growing up in the streets, when you lack that understanding of self, it leads you to a point where you want to get the car, you want to do this, so it leads you to selling dope, gang banging. But once you in tune with self, you don't need that. So for me, that was like, I tell him every time, like my son feel like he weird. And I told him there's nothing weird about being who you are. Because every individual on this earth, behind closed door or like up front, do something weird. I told him I do weird stuff. I like to eat dry cereal. So somebody might think that's weird, so you gotta be willing to be you, bottom line. Being honest with yourself and taking the time to actually not always try to bend the rules, but just adhere to what life gives you and count your blessings. So for me, it's really just counting my blessings and accepting what God's given me and not always chasing something different.
What motivates you?
Love. Love for life, love for God, love for my kids. So when I get up, that's my main focus, living for the love. The Joseph Project took a chance on me, and I took a chance on them, and it was a win situation for both of them.
I want to tell y'all something. Some of you all know that the co-founder of the Joseph Project, Pastor Jerome Smith, he passed a few months ago, my best friend. And we love him, and we love his family. And when I met Phil, he told me something so special about Pastor Jerome Smith before he passed. He said, Pastor Smith never asked anything of him. And there's so many people in his past always wanted something from him. And that to me moved my heart. Brother Phil?
Hello. No, I just first want to thank Shannon and the Changing Narrative Project for even honoring me. And I just want to give thanks for the opportunity to even be in the presence of everybody and have this moment. Because when you're behind the walls, you envision a lot of things, and when you come home, it's always that slip that might happen. So when you get a chance to embrace life, enjoy what you got, and be thankful. Thank you.
Hey, that was a big man. Congratulations, man. Thank you. Wow. I'm telling you, if you heard the stories of people's lives, we wouldn't even be having a question about correcting the narrative, right? You watch a 3-minute video and you're like, just a snapshot. If we listen to those stories instead of the 5 minutes on the news, we might have a different outcome. We also wouldn't be spending $1 billion in corrections. I mean, I know Secretary Carr, I know you're here, we love you, and I still want you to keep your money, I just want less people in prison. So, and I think you do too, which has been good. So we're working on that. All right, without further ado, we're gonna bring up Neal. I'm not exactly sure what's gonna go on with Neal, but I trust you, Neal. Let's do this. Give it up for Neal.
Good to see everybody. When you told me what this event was, I was down right away. But I'd like to introduce the members of the group. On the right, all the way from Colombia, let's give a round of applause to Bonnie. Next to me is the guitar man. His name is Neal Davis. Let's give him a round of applause. We're going to start out, we're going to play one song. The song is entitled Cold Duck Time.
Woo! Yes!
I'm not saying just let them all go. Let's just figure out how we make it safe. So one more time, that was awesome. I'm like, that was funky back there. I saw some of you even moving and stuff without liquor. It's like, how'd that happen? Anyway, we are in Wisconsin. So, all right, the next award is for Brianna Nelson. Let's come on up. All of us are done.
Peace and love, everybody. How y'all doing out there? Say, how y'all doing out there? We got to celebrate correcting the narrative now. Shout out to the community. This next young lady that we're about to give this award to is a very dynamic force in the community. And another person that goes tremendously unnoticed for what she does, for all of us in Wisconsin and the community at large. I want to give you a little snippet of what she's about.
So how I overcame difficult times or difficult adversities in my life weren't very productive. I feel as though they're showing up today in my life how I haven't overcome them. So I would say I overcame them very poorly. And so in how I overcome them today would have to be me letting them come to a head and sitting with difficulties and learning how to deal with them in new ways, such as meditating on my thoughts, meditating on what I say before I say it, even knowing the outcome, knowing that this could be an adversity that could transpire. I'm extremely proud of who I am, who I've became in my new journey in my life. One of those accomplishments are Sisters Keepers and All of Us or None. I'm very proud to be open to opening my eyes to things that I was blinded by, things in our community that we were going through just because I wasn't going through them. So I'm really proud of me having an open heart and mind while focusing on my community. Not to live life on the razor edge. I feel like I made a lot of mistakes. I have to do a lot of correcting in regards to my younger self. Definitely say keep my eyes open, pay attention to who's really in your corner, pay attention to what you're really supposed to be doing and what your future looks like. It's paying attention to what's going on in my community. What can I change? I think that's a lot of where I'm at with my day-to-day correcting the narrative. So currently I am correcting the narrative while working with incarcerated women. It's about what's going on with COVID in there, and I'm just taking their phone calls, hearing about the things that are going on while being incarcerated is my main focus, in establishing businesses and entrepreneurial paths for when they return home. What motivates me is daily seeing that somebody needs me, that somebody needs the correcting and just the strength. So that's my motivation. And when people say that, you know, I'm a light and they need me. And so I feel very wanted and needed and motivated by that. All of Us or None has helped me definitely with the confidence to be able to talk about issues that plague our communities that I didn't know about. Also working with a group of people that are passionate about the same thing has really, it's made it easier to work alongside and dealing with the issues that we're dealing with. So it's helped me in a lot of different ways, especially on a national platform.
For those of y'all that don't know me, my name is Minister Khalid Moabel. I'm the president of All of Us and None, executive director of Breaking Barriers and Insurance Inc. and K-Corp. And I want y'all to give it up for the lovely Brianna Nelson.
All right, so I am not an inmate. I'm not a felon. I'm not a convict. I am nothing less than a human being. So we're going to correct that narrative first, right? Yes, so I'm so honored right now. I want to thank Shannon. Let me thank God. I want to thank God for being the center of my life while doing this community work. Woo-hoo! We love the Lord in the community. I also would love to thank my mom. This is my first award that I have ever received. And so I'm just so honored to have my beautiful mom here to celebrate this moment with me. She's been on the journey with me before this, and so I know this brings her great joy. So thank you everyone in the room. I want to thank All of Us or None Wisconsin. I want to thank All of Us or None National. I want to thank everybody that works and collaborates with me, with Sisters Kiefer, Sister Sheila. She is the best secretary ever, y'all. Right here, you can't have her. I love her so much. She's a stenographer, we call her. And so I love everyone I'm working with in the community. I want to shout out, I see Revolution Ready, I see David Bowen, just everyone in the community that I've worked with in the last year. So I'm really excited about that. Oh, and I want to shout out Kenosha Core, everyone who works with me there as well. All right, y'all. Y'all enjoy your night. All of us? All of us?
Two things I want to mention. One is all the videos are done by Kaylee, my partner in humanizing. So I cannot thank her enough for everything she does. So thank you, Kaylee, the videos. Helping me at 1 o'clock with graphic design things that I can't figure out and a variety of things. So, and I also want to thank Caden Branson. I don't know if he's in here right now, but he's the person setting up our student association chapter at Marquette University. I'm excited about that. We have 15 students who are creating the community chapter at Marquette University. The goal is to have that at as many universities as possible. Students bringing the work to the population at each university or college. So he's here as well, helping out. He's got the suit and probably looks like he's about, the youngest one in here. So, Okay, so next we have up Sue Cassius and Fair Shake, going to introduce the person that she selected.
Awesome, this is so great to be here. I'm so excited about what's happening here, and I want to make sure we all give it up for one person who's been correcting the narrative for how many years, Tamara? Woo! Tamara, 18 and a half, she's been helping us see a better picture of reentry. All right, I get to talk about two people then. I'm going to introduce my friend Jason real quick. He's going to be the one to do the next presentation on the big screen, and then I'll tell you why I picked him. All right, Jason O'Malley.
Working with friends, like-minded individuals, learning tools. I was trained and certified as a life coach. I got a strong spiritual base too. I am a Catholic Christian and I pray and converse with my Lord, but being trained as a life coach has helped me to center myself, helped me to be conscious and aware, and it's always been through my work ethic. Work hard, focus, determination, and day by day, work at persevering. I'm proud of the first thing is helping my mom to get her GED when I was 15. That experience though helped me to become an adult educator, which helped me throughout my incarceration to tutor and teach mathematics. And it guided me all throughout my life. So that's one thing I'm very proud of. I'm also proud of some of my work that I've accomplished in my incarceration of helping men get their GED, having that experience of men who didn't like mathematics or felt they couldn't learn mathematics, kind of have something switch in the classroom where now they do love mathematics, they want to learn, they in fact go on to the university in some cases to study. So I'm very proud of my experience doing that. And then since I've been home, some of the things that I've accomplished since I've been home, giving a speech at a national conference with Fair Shake and Sue Castenson, and as well as my other colleagues, and working on a project for STEM that came from that conference, helping to map the system and develop STEM programming for the incarcerated and formerly incarcerated. I would definitely tell my younger self to slow down. Slow down, take your time, be patient, work hard, still work hard, but be focused and determined at setting your goals, reaching your goals, achieving your goals, and just slow down, take your time, there's no rush. If you take your time over the long term, you will see the progress of your hard work. You'll see the fruits of your labor, so to speak. Being that example myself first of when I encounter setbacks, how to overcome those setbacks and continue to persist and
reach my goals and be successful. And then helping others along the way, helping others with some of the things that got me over the hump, helping others with them achieving and setting and achieving their own goals as well. Working with individuals to either achieve their GED, helping them to get into the university, learn how to study and excel at the university on the academic side. That's where most of my experience is in helping, but also helping them to find where they can get their social security card, birth certificate, where there's employment opportunities, where there's training opportunities, working in these think tanks and this reentry community here in Pittsburgh, which I love. There's a very vibrant reentry community here in Pittsburgh, and working with others across the board to continue to give men and women a chance, to give them the opportunities that they may not have had before incarceration, but they do now have. And going forward, they can get in those workplaces, show a good example. And for the employers, that's really important. They get good experiences with individuals coming home where they work hard, they're determined, they're focused, they're ready to go. They just need a shot. And so being able to work in this area where you can kind of help individuals, guide them and facilitate that process, it's a really special journey. For me, it's a passion for education in the workplace or in training. Seeing, and it goes back to the classroom experience, or my mom, or the classroom experience, but watching someone for the light to come on and learning mathematics. I get that same feeling when helping someone maybe go get their social security card or birth certificate or walk them through that process. So that it's those learning moments, not specifically mathematics I love, but all learning moments, all opportunities for learning and growth. That's what drives me. That's my passion. Seeing those moments, having those moments, I feel blessed to be a part of those moments. Well, let me first say that Sue Castenson is one of the most special human beings that I've ever met in my life. She goes all over the country, going into places, prisons that a lot of outside folks don't like to go into. They have this kind of, talk about narrative, they have this picture in their mind and they wouldn't dream of going in. Well, Sue takes on the challenge. She goes in, she brings this energy and this hope, which that's where I first encountered her. When she came into prison, there was like an energy, it was like no prison, no system could ever kind of capture this energy. It was just like a bundle of joy that came in to give us hope in there, and saying, hey, listen, there's so many wonderful opportunities, and she's bringing that energy, like there's so much going on. And so I was drawn to that. And then, just working with her and collaborating with her, having thought experiments where we challenge, we go back and forth with reasoning and logic to envision a new way, envision a system that's based on strengths and hope. The same thing that she brought into the prison, she has this vision for the system. The system doesn't have to be negative based, doesn't have to be something drab and dreary. It can be filled with hope, and you can kind of infuse this into the system, this new way of being. And so she's helped to stretch my mind of what's even possible.
Wow, I didn't know about that. But it speaks to what I wanted to talk about, which is I came in with a lot of energy. I also came in challenging people, and Shannon will attest to that. I've had lots of great arguments with these folks because our arguments are on improvement, right? So we can sit there and go, wait, no, this is better. Wait, no, this is better. So we're arguing for better and better and better. One of the things we argued about was this interesting concept against the recidivism rate. We're like, whoa, that's like a double negative goal. Negative goal, does that ever even work? So we started working on how we could create positive goals. So instead of your risk factor, for instance, we talk about your freedom potential factors, right? So we can work toward things. Yeah. So with Jason and 3 other incarcerated and not incarcerated. So one guy was actually incarcerated when we did a program at the National Higher Education in Prisons Conference, and we did a presentation and panel called What You Focus On Grows, Rejecting Recidivism Reduction Rhetoric and Reframing Reentry Success. So we're still working on this today, and we want you to join us in correcting that narrative. So, tonight, to accept this award, Jason lives in Pennsylvania. As he said, I travel around the country doing this, and I'm a professional meddler. Tonight, unfortunately, he can't be here, so we have Vern Graves accepting Jason's award. Come on up, Vern, and I think Shannon, maybe, to do this. Oh, you got the award, awesome. Yay, so here's Berg Graves, who also knows Jason.
Thank you. Thank you all for coming. I want to thank Sue, and I want to thank Jason for giving me this great honor to accept this award. And go Jason!
Interestingly enough, actually, I met Sue a long time ago in prison. Sue actually sold her business to start Care Share. So talk about correcting the narrative. She's like, listen, something's got to change, right? All these organizations, let's give it up for all the organizations being represented tonight. For every single human being that says, I am going to see and do this differently. If we want, I talked about that $1 billion budget, right? I know if we invest in people, we also invest in communities. We invest in the next generation, like them little babies I see out here. Give it up for them little babies here. We want to differ for them. So right now, we're going to take a moment. I'm going to ask you, if you wouldn't mind, to really just set down whatever you have right now. I know I heard I'm missing greens and cornbread. I told Shannon he's in a whole heck of a lot of trouble if this big girl don't get nothing. And you better believe, I ain't going back to prison over it though, Secretary Carter. Not a threat. But anyway, I really want to, I'm going to ask you to, I want to take in 3 deep breaths. I want to take in 3 deep breaths through your nose. I want you to breathe in whatever you felt tonight, whatever you think needs to be. I want you to breathe in very deeply, maybe what you want for your life or what you want for someone else who's been tied up in the system. And I want you to breathe out what you're tired of carrying, what no longer serves you anymore, whether you're directly impacted or impacted by the work that's being done. And then I'm going to ask to keep breathing, please, because we don't want to lose any of you. We need you. And then I'm going to ask all of the directly impacted people. As soon as we're done breathing, I'm going to ask you to stand. I want you in this moment of silence, though. We want to lift up those that never did get to walk out those gates. People we loved, or people that walked out those gates and are no longer with us. Every human being in this room, there isn't, no matter what section we come from, has the desire to love and be loved, and every single human being in one of those boxes has that same desire. And so I'm asking that we'll lift up, and for those of you, while we take this 30-second break before we have those folks stand up, I want you to lift up the names of those you love or would like to have wrapped in love and hope and compassion. Because I know there's some, I worked at WRC for 12 years, that's a mental health prison, and I knew people that wanted to die every single day because they didn't believe that they mattered. There are people in this room who weren't incarcerated that feel that way. There are people that are walking by right now that aren't sure if they deserve to take that next breath, and I want us to change that narrative. From children all the way up to those who are in their room waiting to see whoever it is they think comes after this life. So I'm going to ask you to lift up the names, those specifically that we either lost this year. Just shout them out in that 30 seconds. Somebody you want us to think about, pray about, put in our arms or love or good energy or good juju. I'm going to ask you to throw it out there. That's how we're going to correct this. We're going to invite people into the fact that they were always so much more than the sum total of what the world told them and what they did. and they have a responsibility to come out and live that so we can all have that life. So I'm gonna ask you, let's start with those 3 deep breaths. I want you to breathe in what you want. I want you to breathe out what you're tired of carrying. This load is heavy. And then we're just gonna start throwing out some names for 30 seconds that we wanna honor in this space and send that love and hope. Deborah. Jason. Michael. Deborah.
Donovan. Jamal.
Darling.
Genevieve. All those that are left unspoken, we hold them in our hearts and in our energy. When we walk out this door, may we never forget that we need each other. Mother Teresa said, somewhere along the way, we've forgotten that we belong to one another. This is not somebody else's issue. This is us. There is no us in them. So I'm going to ask for those formerly incarcerated people that are willing to stand up. Let us give you a big bunch of love for showing up and doing what it is, because you have always been more than enough. Give it up. Stand on up. Yes. We represent millions. You are beautiful. You have always been enough, and the world needs you. Please keep it on. All right, we're going to continue with this moment of silence. We're going to actually watch the memorial for the folks that we did lose. Thank you. You are beautiful. I love that song. Long time coming, but change don't come. Right? They wouldn't let me sing, so I just grabbed it when I can. She was like, I don't think so, Tim. A young man that I had a chance to spend time with, I didn't ask Shannon to put on here, a young man named David Marshall Jr. also lost his life recently. We talk about mental health and substance abuse. There isn't a human being in this world that doesn't know somebody that has a mental health and substance use disorder. That's who's in prison. And I think when we talk about changing the narrative, we have to change this idea that when we talk about ACEs and adverse childhood experiences, so majority of the people I've ever met in the last 18 and a half years going back into prisons, I have yet to meet someone that didn't have a trauma history, that wasn't addressed as a child. So if we want the narrative to be different, we need to meet that challenge, heal, let people heal, and have purpose in their life, right? So I'm just going to get a little hallelujah or woohoo from here after this. Change don't come, but we need you. We need you to show up and talk about the change that needs to happen, to correct the narrative. All right, right before, so Dron's going to come up here with spoken word. Then we're going to go to intermission, and I want to remind you, Shannon keeps reminding me to remind you, that is the last time to get tickets. So during intermission, grab your pocketbook. Don't grab somebody else's. I used to do that. Don't do it. It never turned out well, and then I always felt bad, too, on top of it all. Go home and cry. I just stole someone's money. After I got high. But anyway, so after Dron, intermission, please go get them tickets, because we also have to make sure that we got money to move things, to make sure, and let's not forget that all of these items, every single one of them, were made by somebody who's been incarcerated. Talent that we haven't seen yet. So Dron, come on up here and do your thing.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening. First off, my name is Andron Lane, owner of Another Quality Lifestyle. First off, I want to say, I work with the EXPO for the youth initiative. So we have this program coming up, this class coming up. It's called Real Issues, Real Talk. What is it? Saturday the 13th. It's from 5 to 7. I don't have the actual address, but we can get it from him, or you can go onto expo.com. You can get all the information you need. So my piece I'm doing is called America. I have this young man right here who's gonna improvise. I just want to do something different. Speak your name. Scream it with the non-sedated passion that lies within your voice. I said, say your damn name. Tell your story. The dehumanizing, unbearable, degrading, unethical journey of your bloodline. Degrading through this savage, unjust voice that contains one comprehension of our culture. Defined under some artificial preconceived notion that states, I'm American. Based off of the existence of some bullshit ass ink, written on one scorn paper by the same people who beat, hung, and told me that I should not be free, but still somehow I'm considered American. Screaming of this shame, dying within these chains, starting to believe that the pigment of my skin is flawed as I continue to accept the destructive phrases used by my fellow Americans who treat me as nothing but common livestock. You see, I was born in America, which established my birthright with a certification that states I'm American. Can my soul possibly rest in reason? Or does my love for this felonious freedom dies in passion because the irresponsible, biased individual of America had yet to even see and understand that the color infusion of my skin does not make us American? It's to see me, it's to see him, it's to see you, because we matter. Or America continue to pierce into the depths of pain with a man who has been baptized in the city of pain. Then there will be no America. because we have no peace. So see you, see him, see me, see all of us, because we do matter. Peace.
Did y'all know that some cities they call shooting licking somebody now? Licking somebody. I'm gonna give y'all an example. Okay, there was two of them, two of us. I'm jawing at them, they jawing at us. I was like, I'm saying regular tough talk. I'm like, hey, come get knocked out. I'm beat y'all like y'all stole something. Everything I heard in movies in the 90s, it sounds tough to me. Regular stuff. My cousin took it to the next level. He's like, cuz, forget this. Come on, we gonna lick both of them. I was like, yeah. Excuse me. He's like, we gonna lick them. I'm like, but I thought we was about to fight. We friends with them now? He's like, no, fool, we gonna go to the truck and give him that long thing. I was like, okay, I'm very confused. I want to take you to a different kind of club. So I'm not gonna lie to y'all, we got stomped out that night. That was pretty cool. But we made it home. I'm excited to see my family again. I haven't seen my family these past couple holidays, which is generally okay. Sometimes it's not. You know, the pandemic gave me a break. But I didn't like family get-togethers because the attention was always on. I'm 33, I'm not married, and I ain't got no kids. So it's the same conversation every year. Time. And you met somebody, you're gonna meet somebody, you're gonna have some grandma who's trying to give you a trip. She's like, baby, I'm just worried about you. I'm worried that I'm gonna meet my great grandbabies. And I'm like, might not. You get up there, I don't know what to tell you. But it was kind of cool though. It might be hard to see. The last time my family got together, it was cool. The attention was not on me, y'all. It wasn't my cousin or his new girlfriend to the family cookout. Or his new girlfriend. She was white, and that's okay. We like Julie. Here's the problem. Julie brought fried chicken. The first time she met my family, she brought fried chicken. That's some bold stuff. The best of the part is it was delicious. It was tender. It was seasoned good. We had to pretend like it wasn't better than grandma's, like it was bad. But the best part was my granddaddy's reaction to the whole situation. The granddad looked inside like, Anton, I'm like, what's up? He's like, come here. I'm like, what's up, grandpa? He's like, can you believe this? This girl brought some doggone fried chicken the first time she came to meet the family. Who gave her a fool idea like that? It was me. Who told her that was okay? Best part of my impersonation, my granddad just now, he white too. We don't know why he sounds like that. He been talking like that since 2014. He ain't stopped since. I been getting mad. I'm like, stop that. Your name is Roger. Shut up. It's crazy. It's crazy, y'all. I got a nephew, and I got a crash course in parenting, y'all. Again, being system impacted. My sister went on pause for a little bit, so I had my nephew, and she brought him to me. And this is different, you know. Like I don't have no kids, but I know from my experience with him that I'm an unfit father. I'm not good at it, y'all. I'll never forget it, y'all. So she drops him off to me. Now, here's the thing that y'all need to know about my sister. My sister is raising my nephew down in Atlanta. Not here, Atlanta. Zone 4 Atlanta, if y'all ever been out there. I don't know if y'all know the slang and that twang is a little bit different down south. They don't talk like the same as we talk up here, right? I never forget the first day that she dropped my nephew off. It was crazy. He ran up to me. I was like, what's up, little man? Welcome to Milwaukee. I'm glad you're here. He was like, I don't know if it's New Year in Milwaukee. This ain't look dead. I don't know where he is, but I know where photo be. I immediately turned to my sister like, take him back with you. She was like, why? I was like, he talks in cursive. I don't know what we gonna do while you gone. I don't know. We ain't gonna have no fun. But I tried to show him the cool uncle, y'all. I tried to show him the cool. I took him to Six Flags. I'm not allowed to Six Flags no more. This is what he did. This is something I learned too. Parents, y'all know, kids will embarrass you just by existing, won't they? Just by being there. It was crazy. We went to Six Flags, we got a new Batman roller coasters. New Batman they got there. It's in a big dark building. It twists and turns. It don't do no loops or nothing. It just twists and does a lot of stuff, right? We get in the front of the roller coaster. We want to feel all the G-force. There's 2 pouches in the front of the roller coaster car for you to put your stuff in. I put my keys, my wallet, everything in my pouch. Little man don't put nothing in his pouch. All right. The ride starts. It's twisting, it's turning. He started crying, I can't figure out why, because I just told y'all he talked like Pokemon. Like, I don't know what's going on. Eventually, I figure out he about to lose his glasses. I take his glasses off, and I put them in the pouch in front. What else happens on roller coasters, y'all? They take your picture. This is the exact moment when I'm putting this stuff in the pouch that they took our picture. If it don't sound messed up, walk with me. We get off the ride. We go to that part where you can buy your photos. It's a photo kiosk as big as the stage that I'm on right now, showing a picture of me reaching between the little boy legs, and you can't see where I'm reaching. And he crying. And I'm smiling at him. All was bad. People's calling child protection services. He's like, Uncle, I want a funnel cake. I'm like, we gotta get out of here, come on. It's messed up. Don't like other kids, I ain't married. I did end a relationship right before the beginning of the pandemic. I ended a 5-year relationship. That is messed up. That is messed up. Get back out here after you've been together with somebody for a long time. You get back on the first date, you have those stupid conversations. Like, what's your rising sign? An alarm clock, I'll work. Like, oh, it ain't nothing, dating that stupid. It ain't nothing on there, but just it's all the children of Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. They don't do nothing but wear chokers and lie. That's all they do. It's very annoying. So I had a lot of time to reflect on the end of my last relationship and the last conversation I had with my ex. Can I keep it 100% real with y'all for a second? All right, I'm gonna keep it, all right, maybe 99. Listen, we had our last conversation. She hit me with that messed up question. What are we? I was like, black. She was like, nah, for real. I was like, all right, so we aired out all our grievances. I aired out a grievance with her. I was like, baby, we don't really do nothing in bed no more. Like, what's up with that? Telltale sign your relationship ended, right? Y'all ain't doing nothing no more. She was like, well, I gotta be honest with you. I need you to talk to me. You don't talk sexy. And I was like, what? She was like, you talk crazy. People on stage all the time doing comedy, but you scared to talk sexy. I'm like, all right, I'm working on it. Talk sexy. So the next time, and the last time, that me and her did anything, I decided I was gonna talk sex to her. Now y'all heard my voice up to this point. My voice is deep. But I decided I was gonna talk deeper. Lower. Slower. It didn't work. I wasn't sexy. I sounded like Mufasa. I'm serious, it was bad. We started doing what we was doing. She did something I didn't like. I was like, you deliberately disobeyed me. And the rest of that joke is too nasty, and some of y'all have brought your doggone kids up in here. My name is Anton Johnson. I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
All right, without further ado, let's get Dwayne up here. Come on, Dwayne, with Wisconsin Community Services. Come get your award.
How's everybody doing? So my name is David Gilmore. Me and Mr. Mack are very good co-workers and our friends. If I could tell a real quick story about Mr. Mack, when I first met him at WCS, every month we would have a talent show. And this young man, this was my first meeting for him, he came to present, right, spiritual dance. So in my mind, I'm like, this is not gonna go over well, right? All these cats in the halfway house, you like, they're gonna be tripping. But he had so much passion, right, for what he was doing, so much love, that by the time he was done, the whole room was standing in ovation, right? He did a really good job. So, and every time he comes to work, right, he's like, what we doing for lunch? You want some donuts, some pizza, right? Always coming with a good attitude, a willingness to help and to give whatever he got. He doesn't care what it is, right? And so every time he comes to work, we're always like, man, we're just so happy to have him in our organization, right? He's always a good asset, right? So we want to cue this video and hear a few words from him.
I overcame difficult events in my past with the help of others, because when you talk about my past was very colorful and it wasn't bright colors. I think it was so many bright people that I met that I love the light I saw in them, and I wanted it for myself. I'm proud that my mother's super happy. I am proud to have a job for 4.5 years. I'm proud to be actually employed by 3 companies and to be looked upon as a man with integrity, a man that's honest, and a man that's funny. And that just makes the whole shift better. Man, stay in school. What is wrong with you? Stop it. You're not bad, Dwayne. Your name is Dwayne. Quit taking on what other people have told you who you are. go against the grain of what people expect you will do. And I do that on a daily basis. I do that by even the young men I see in traffic who are driving crazy in the city of Milwaukee, as opposed to not talking to them. It's good to say something wise, but you have to be wise when you throw nuggets out to them. Just say, hey guys, remember that you're smart and you got sense. So correcting a narrative is really, it's personal to me, because as a man who's got that colorful past with the criminal record, I think it's real important for guys like us to really look at those that are taking chances with their lives and their freedom. Everywhere I go, when no one's looking, doing the right thing. I think I'm happy that I'm not in the hole that I used to be in. You know, I really wasn't bad, Dwayne. I was just a kid that just really wanted a mother and a daddy. So, I just really wanted to feel love. If somebody's cutting onions, because I'm sitting here crying, man, who's cutting them onions, man? It's okay to cry. The people who were placed in my path, they just genuinely love me. So, love really pulls people. WCS has been amazing. As I tell the story today, it's ironic that that is actually a prison that I work in. And I was actually in that prison. My PO sent me there and I fought against it. I did not want to go. And she said, no, you're going. And then to meet great mentors like Mr. Richardson, to have a director like Joy, an assistant director like Lori, who really showed me that they care about me, that I am a guy who can get it. And thank God that for the first time in my life, I shut up and listen up. And and I share this now today I speak all over the community with WCS. For WCS, I'm an ED2 recovery coach. That's emergency department recovery coach in one department, and I'm a peer specialist in another department. And WCS just continued to kind of hone my skills and brought me in, got me educated, and they continued to give me the great training, but more so, they continue to just give me support. They care about Dwayne Mack, you know, and I feel very fortunate to have a company care about me.
Thank you, the organization. Thank you to the sponsor, Shannon. Thank you for what you put together. First and foremost, I must thank the good Lord that He gave me a woman that stayed on her knees, catch her in closets and didn't understand what she was doing in the closet, praying. Yeah, I'm talking about my mama. I'm very grateful. Very grateful to have a queen like that in my life who never gave up on me. And as she brought my stuff to Joshua Glover, I knew that she was upset with me because that particular girl, her face was fixed. She dropped my stuff off. So to arrive at Joshua Glover and to be under great leadership like Joy, David, Mr. Richardson, great poets like Greg as well, and then be on another team with an awesome team with Megan, Michelle, Star, who stays in my ear like TT. I got all great women power. Still up. So they say correcting the narrative. I thought about that this morning. Correcting the narrative. So I decided that I was going to instead of taking a shower, I was going to take a bath. So I took a bath and I made my eggs and sausage, and I thought that this would be very nice to have eggs and sausage in the bathroom. It's not. I would have to put the eggs in the
dryer and make them fluffy. Got that wig for him? So anyway, I'm very grateful, man, as I stand here and to have the opportunity to change some life and, you know, shameless plug, Wisconsin Community Service, we are hiring. We need more people. We sure can, if you know somebody that's unemployed, tell them to go to the website and do careers. But I think that what's important is when you have a director like Clarence at the top who's so humble. There was something about the way that man seen me, him and artists. There was something about the way these gentlemen seen me, and they be watching you. When you think ain't nobody looking, they looking. You know, it's easy to say something, but it's a whole lot better when you're doing something. So I realized that I'm fortunate to be an ED2 recovery coach. I'm fortunate to be a peer specialist, certified peer specialist. First time I took that test, I did not pass. And that hurt it. You're laughing at me? Grow up. So anyway, so as I did accomplish that, and to be in the prison, and the fellas look at it, you know, they look at it like, I tell them, this can be you in the year 2022, but for 2021, there's so much you gotta get done. And as an ED2 recovery coach with my Michelle and my Megans and my Stars and my other team, Jessica's and Crystal's, that nice, you know, fingers together make a great fist. And we're just giving a punch at addiction. Let people know that interrupt your thoughts that I got from my mentor, interrupt your cravings, but most importantly, I practiced it in my professional life, even today. The ability to tell yourself to shut up.
Come on now.
That's huge. The ability to tell yourself to shut up. You know, I also fortunate to be 4 years at the Olive Garden. And I don't like mentioning that because now y'all want to be my friends for chicken Alfredo and breakfast. Like me for me. I'm a person. So, I just, you know, so I have to tell myself a lot of times to shut up when you got a $179 bill and you left me a $1.60 tip. Shame on you. Shut up, Dwayne. Thank you. But I just, in closing, I'm very honored to receive something like this. I never received an award. And I'm grateful that my mom could be here to see me receive something like this.
Is it hasn't had a lot of space for folks to be who they are in that role. And I think when you talk about trauma, okay, yes. When you talk about trauma and you talk about the things that happen to people, hurt people. But there needs to be space for all of us. There is a place for every one of us at the table, and the more we are there, the greater the opportunity to make sure eventually we go to prison one day and it says closed and everybody got better. Can I get an amen? Or hallelujah? Or woo-hoo? So I'm gonna challenge the group that I come from to really think about whatever gets in the way of us inviting anybody in, because we've all been dismissed. And I'm gonna say it again. I know we have lots of faith and lots of things about that. But one thing that I know across all indoctrinations of faith, do unto others as I would do unto you, is in at least 77 different ways it's been spoken. So I'm going to challenge our community in that way, because we know what it's like to be left out, to please not forget all of us. So without further ado, we're going to watch Black and Pink. They do a lot of work with folks who we actually started a support group in the Wisconsin Resource Center for folks who were finding their way in their own sexuality. What we realized is that people learned how to have healthy relationships and they didn't go around beating people up when they called them gay. Really interesting how we had less harm. All right, that's it. So black and pink it is.
Black and Pink has helped me in many ways. The community aspect of all their publication and seeing other people's struggles and knowing that I'm not alone and being able to ask them for help when needed, whether it's getting a surgery that I needed after a broken hand or just moral support.
Black and Pink has been helpful to me in my regards because they find a safe gate, or they have a safe gate. So if I need somebody to talk to, I can just send them an email, and I can talk to them, put down my issues on the email, and they respond to it and, help me get through the situation.
Well, correcting the narrative to me means that people have a better understanding of, things that we go through personally on a day-to-day basis rather than what is put out in the media, and things are spun to a better outlook than what things really are. Well, the things that I personally do is I'm always fighting the administration for our rights. That's my way of correcting the narrative, whether it's inmate complaints or a lawsuit.
People believe that LGBT people are not the same as them. Whether you're gay or straight, lesbian, transsexual, bisexual, it doesn't matter. We are still the same individual person as a human being, so we deserve to be treated and accepted the same as everybody else do, instead of being ridiculed or criticized or disrespected or put down because of who we love and who we want to or choose to love.
Well, my motivation is my release date. I know when I'm getting out, I'm fortunate for that. And, I have things better on the other side. I have people with similar cases that are friends on the outside that are doing well, and that's what motivates me, is seeing the positivity that's out there against all the odds.
I'm motivated to, give back to my community in that aspect and be a spokesperson and an LGBT advocate, to help protect our rights and, get things done, because there's a lot of work that still needs to be done for the LGBT community inside and outside, especially mainly in the community, because, you got, members of the LGBT family that's being stoned, killed, beaten, raped, physically abused, and all of that, and it's not good. So I want to be the voice. I'm motivated to be the voice because of everything that happened to me growing up and everything that I've been experiencing since I've been incarcerated the last 11 years. Being ridiculed, discriminated, propositioned, extorted, beaten by the COs, beaten by the inmates, and raped when I was just at Jackson. So I want to do everything that I can to help my family, my LGBT family.
I think love is what's really going to change things. Hate never got us anywhere. All right, so next, without further ado, we're going to have Shannon up here grab the mic. Come on up, Shannon, and do your thing!
All right. I'm pretty exhausted, so just bear with me here. this poem. I want to thank one more people too before I forget. Gabby for the tech. Thank you so much, Gabby. Doing a fantastic job. Thank Wendy and the WayJ family. Can't thank you enough for the food and serving. It's amazing. Thank you so much. And my family, as always, Michelle, my mom, my dad, and my 103-hour-old son sitting in the back there quietly. I'm so glad he's still crying. It's quiet. So, all right. So this is a poem I first performed at Stanley. It's called Dear Society. There are a couple people here tonight that saw me do that 7 years ago at a talent show, and 4 hours from here. So it's kind of surreal to be able to do it now. So hopefully the microphone stays close enough to my face. Dear Society, for 17 years I observed you, analyzed and unlearned you, and now I discern the truth that millions assume or yearn to. But me, you haven't seen since LeBron was wearing green. In fact, me, you never saw. Knew me in the summer, and who's he in the fall? And from that same hole, you still massively misperceive my soul. I am still defined by my youth or my crime. Because you do not know how I've changed over time. You cannot understand how much the painful flames I fan cook my heart's flesh like a brand, or how deep it is I stand in the ashes of my past that burn everlasting and refuse to relax. You cannot perceive how much the plight of others covers me, how thoroughly I wear the burdens of their despair, because for it I surely share responsibility, because I never cared, in fact, I willfully abetted. For we are all to blame when our people are neglected, but don't complain if you don't aim to correct it. Skip the record. Don't complain if you don't aim to correct it. But see, what your mind's eye can't perceive about me don't matter. Only God and time know what's behind another's deeds and chatter. Rather, the problem is your ignorance of self. Judge others by their mistakes, but credit all yours to bad health as if redemption's just a fake. And aren't we all going to hell? Only circumstances separate a sinner from a saint. How could you say that had you been in my skin when I was him, you would not have done the same? Now reverse the roles and suppose it is your kin labeled offender. And when he calls, you're the one thanked for being exploited by a prison vendor. And every visit conjures up mistakes you'd rather not remember. And happy memories now have an aftertaste of embers. But soon you notice a metamorphosis. He smiles where he used to wild out, listening when before he dialed out. His words and deeds the style of a man emerging from a child now. Shoulders back, his temper's down. His thoughts attack injustice, no longer people in the crowd, and you act like it's a blatant fact he's turned his life around. But we're the kin of others, thus you frown, dress us down, treat our development as the performance of clowns. Because to acknowledge the truth would dissolve that crown, depose that throne and bring you down from the illusion that you're righteous. That's the way pride wipes us. Lifts us up the heights just so life can come and life us like you're nothing, dog, but nice dust. And like dust, we all fall and settle when we wane. And that we live like it's a game with different teams is just a shame. And before my loss of freedom made reality simple and plain, I was blind just the same. So on what grounds can I complain? Yet still I feel the pain of your campaign to lock me in and chain me to a box that can't contain me. I am water and no brain can flame me. Disdain can't stain me. Yet, make no mistake, I'm not casting blame, just presenting facts that I hope you contemplate like only circumstances separate a sinner from a saint. Any difference is only pain. Love your creation. Thank you.
I've had the privilege of being with people as they come out of prison since my own release again 18 and a half years ago. And it is such an amazing honor to witness that kind of spirit come out and say, this ain't about me, this is about us. Right? This ain't about what they said about you, it's about what we're going to say and do now. We're going to correct that narrative. Give it up one more time for that young man. All right. Bring it on up here. We're going to have Emilio come up and do his thing with big pockets.
How's that? Now I feel taller. So, welcome to my house. I'm Emilio Duttore. I'm the executive director of Milwaukee Turners. And, it's been my pleasure, my honor to work with Shannon for the past year. And tonight I am incredibly honored to introduce a gentleman I've known for a couple of years now. His beautiful wife Jolene over there with beautiful baby G probably lands his greatest accomplishment in her arms. But I'm going to introduce a gentleman now who walks it like he talks it. He is somebody who not only employs our brothers and sisters, not only helps, not only contributes, not only volunteers, not only mentors, but also has the gumption to go to the state legislature repeatedly and tell the elected officials what they need to do to better the lives of our incarcerated brothers and sisters. And so it's not really about me, it's really about the gentleman we're going to see in a couple of seconds, and so I'd like you to cue this video.
Nowadays, I just work, you know what I mean? So, when I have a little difficult situation, I just lose my mind and work. Versus, back in the day, I'd want to go party, hang out with women, go to the club, drink and whatever. I mean, it's just, it's a whole different aspect to everything now. I just had my firstborn son. He's a little over 3 months old now. He's 14 weeks old. Get married next month. I own multiple businesses now. Glad and proud that I'm finally off paper, and just proud of more or less proud of the person I've become through all the obstacles. I would say think before you do stuff. Every time you do something, it's got consequences, both good and bad. I think that's probably the biggest thing I can tell myself is always think before you move. Correcting the narrative is doing something to break the mold that they've tried to create for that type of people in society. Where I came from and where I am now. The people around me that came from the same places I come from and where they are now. The ACLU and Smart Justice campaign has helped me in my journey because they've opened up a lot more doors for me, realizing what needs to be done in changing the system. There's a lot of political people that I've met and told my story to that are blind to the fact, and I'm not gonna say they're racist, but it's different when they got a white face telling them this. It's different when they got a white face that's a business owner that's done the same stuff that black faces have done, and they actually had to listen to what I said compared to them turning cheeks to other people, and it's really helped me in that matter of showing me the routes that really need to be taken to try and get stuff changed. But it's also helped me open my eyes to some other stuff that I'd never realized.
How y'all doing tonight? I'm gonna keep it sweet. I know everybody got their stomachs full. They want to go home. I'm just gonna say that I've experienced both sides, as you can see in the video. I grew up the only white boy in a black neighborhood, so I've seen both sides, and they treated me like a brother. I caught a drug case and did 6 years in prison for my first drug case and 18 and a half years paper. I did 8.5 years, no trouble, no nothing, got revocated, had to start time over. So I've corrected the narrative more than once. And all I can say is perseverance, never letting up, and just keep pushing. Thank you to ACLU, Sean, I can't see the lights kind of bright, Molly, Melissa, who can't be here, my wife, my child, Emilio, camera, and thanks for everybody that came out tonight. I mean, this is what it's gonna take. You know what I mean? For change to happen, we gotta plant the seed in the minds of these young ones out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna keep it short, but thank y'all. I appreciate it.
So without further ado, we're also gonna call up here. This is gonna be Aaron's award, Aaron Hicks from Nehemiah. Give it up for Aaron. He could not be here.
I overcame them through just going through it. It's the very thing that shaped and molded me. So I understand that through this journey of life, that there will be some moments in life that will come with trials and tribulations, but I think I've learned how to turn my trials and my tests into my testimony. The number one thing is my daughter. She was diagnosed with autism under the umbrella of Asperger's. They said she could never live on her own. They said that she would never be able to drive a car. She does both. My desire is to really push, liberation. I think everything that we're doing is designed to help people become liberated in all aspects of life because we've been confined for so long. I would tell my younger self that you are great, that you do have purpose, because those are all the things that I didn't feel I had. And so what people may say, the naysayers, that all things are possible. You just gotta keep pushing. A lot of times we only acknowledge when we do good or great things, but really just sharing with people they both exist. We all fall short, but it doesn't define who you are. For me on a day-to-day, it's about really taking my mess and turning it into my message and just letting people know that, you know, it's two parts to all of us, right? We go through some things, but really sharing with people that you don't have to stay there. Like, you don't have to stay in that same narrative. You can change it, and it's about getting around the right people, places, and things. And it's also about a mindset. Knowing that I have a voice, that I have a purpose, those are all the things that I didn't know, that I didn't even believe. And part of being incarcerated, one thing that I share with people, that incarceration is not limited to a building. It's a state of mind. Because I understand that my desire for myself and for the people around me is to really create a space where liberation, where people can see liberation in its full totality, meaning, you know, mentally being set free, financially being set free, taking away all the bars that have been put into my life, that I've allowed to be in my life, and breaking away from the chains that have allowed me to stay there for so long. They believed in me. They saw something in me. They saw greatness when I didn't see it. They saw purpose when I didn't see purpose. And so they gave me a platform to be able to share my story. They also gave me a platform to be able to just show people that you can turn your mess into your message.
Give it up for Aaron, everybody. One more time. I accept this on behalf of my man Aaron, fellow brother Expo of mine. Expo as not simply a brand name, but as a noun, as a person whose name is on CCAP and in the database. If your name is in the database, then you are afforded all the mistreatments that go along with being a second-class citizen in second-class citizenship status. And so all the directly impacted people in this room know exactly what I'm talking about firsthand, whether you're connected to the community corrections still or not, which is what Aaron was lifting up in the video. If he were here, he would, you know, give you a Bible quote. Carl being, you know, secular as he is, I will simply say that, you know, it says in the Bible to not forget those in prison. I made sure that I remembered that while I was there, and I carried that out with me. I've learned a lot from Aaron since I've been doing this work, and I would also say that for those who are allies to this work, to system impacted people in this room and system impacted people in this state, to be listening. Being done with community corrections does not mean that you are done with the mistreatments that go along with being labeled. That goes on for a lot longer than one might think. And that in no way promotes public safety. That in no way is an investment in public safety. It is an investment in mistreatment. It is an investment in the misgivings of a person. That shows that we are not lifting up dignity. We are not treating people with respect. And we are not doing anybody in any community a service. So in that, I would like to close and say thank you all for coming. I appreciate you all supporting my young friend Shannon, who's also an Expo, who built his own particular lane and decided to continue to partner with those who do the work. Smart man. I ask that you all who are in the work to partner more, to echo Shannon a bit more.
We need each other, and there is no us and them, there is only us. Thank you, everybody.
All right, one more time for Aaron. I met Aaron when he came out of the pen. I used to say he was just a youngin'. It's really come a long way. It's amazing, again, to bear witness to what can happen when people are loved well. What could really happen to transform lives. All right, without further ado, this is going to be our closer for this beautiful music. Sarai, Anzaldua, Mueller. Hope I got it right. I gave it a whirl because you're working. And I hope I didn't mess it up. Without further ado, thank you, Sarai.
How we doing? We're still with it today? Yes. Aho, my people. And as a woman who comes from the southern tribes, and like I always like to tell people, I border two borders, that of the reservation and that of the Rio Grande. I want to represent my people up here, so I'm going to start off with a song that talks about how us little cogs keep making the big cogs spin. So maybe we need to take a moment to reflect about that. Little wheel spin and spin, big wheel goes around and around. Little wheel spin and spin, big wheel turns around and around. Little wheel spin and spin, big wheel turns around and around. Little wheel spin and spin, the big wheel turns around and around. Merry Christmas, jingle bells, Christ is born and the devil's in hell. Hearts they shrink, pockets swell, everybody know but nobody tell. Big wheel spin and spin, little wheel go around and around. Little wheel spin and spin, big wheel turn around and around. Oh, the sin of Caesar's men, cry the pious citizen. The burn the lives for fives and tens. Father beg for who goes around. I said, little wheel, spin and spin. Big wheel turns around and around. Little wheel, spin and spin. The big wheel turns around and around. You can blame the angels, blame the fates. You can blame your sister or your brother Kate. You can tell yourself who to hate, but you can't tell the brother to concentrate. I said, the little wheel round and round, big wheel spins around and around. So the little wheel spin and spin, the big wheel goes around and around. Turn your back, weeds you sow, add your straw to the camel's load. Pray like hell when your world explodes. The big wheel goes round and round. I said, little wheel spin, spin, a big wheel go round and around. Little wheel spin and spin, a big wheel goes around and around. I said, the little wheel spin and spin, the big wheel goes around and around. Sing it well, no yeah, go, hey, no, yeah, hey, no, yeah, go, hey, no, yeah, hey, way, go, no, yeah, go, hey, no, yeah, hey, yes. This was a song that the board picked, the free campaign picked. So we decided to do our own little version of it. And the words speak very loudly on this. And if you know it, feel free to sing along. Broken down and tired of living life on a merry-go-round. You can't find the fighter, but we're gonna find it and we're gonna walk it out and move mountains. We're gonna walk it out, yes, and move mountains. And I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise unafraid. I'll rise up and do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up in spite of the ache. I'll rise up high like the waves. I'll rise up and I'll do it 1,000 times again. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah. For yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. For when the silence isn't quiet and it feels like it's getting harder to breathe. You know you feel like dying, but I promise we're gonna take the world to its knees and move mountains. Bring the world to its knees and move mountains. And I'll rise up, rise like the day. I'll rise up, rise unafraid. I'll rise up, oh yeah. And I'll rise up, rise like the waves. I'll rise up, I'll rise out the aches. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again. Like, yeah, 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 and yeah, 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 and yeah, 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 I'll do it for you. And I'll rise up, rise unafraid. I'll rise up, high like the waves. I'll rise up,
Absolutely, you will.
and I'll do it 1,000 times again. And I'll rise up, rise unafraid. I'll rise up, in spite of the ache. I'll rise up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again for you.
Thank you, everybody. Don't forget, it takes all of us to correct that narrative. There ain't no us and them. It's only you and me, and we got this. Let's do it. Have a great night. Drive safe. Love to you all.